Within the long-lost kingdom of Camavor, there once lived a village of people far from the throne. It was there in the rural colonies where a humble seamstress made her beloved doll, Gwen. What Gwen can remember of her past, she remembers with love. The seamstress and the doll spent their days crafting scissors resting in Gwen's still hands as her maker stitched a nearby needle and thread. At night, the two could be found crouching under the dinner table, the seamstress challenging Gwen to makeshift duels with clashing silverware against scissors echoing in their candlelit kitchen. In time, the game stopped and the candlelight faded. Gwen could not understand why, but whenever she struggled to recall the details, she felt a twinge of pain, tied to a man whose name and face escaped her. As her memories washed away with the ocean tide, Gwen laid still for centuries, quiet and forgotten. One night, her eyes opened. Gwen awoke for the very first time on a shadowy beach far from her home, by magic unbeknownst to her. She had transformed into a living girl who could move her hands and feet, all on her own. Gwen took to life with joy. She skipped across the sand, amazing by how far her eyes could see, how wondrous every pebble was to her touch, and how incredible the wind felt on her back. Along the coast, scattered debris left abandoned for a millennium caught her attention. Laying beside broken chests were oddly familiar tools: scissors, needle, and thread. Gwen recognized them immediately. They were her maker's tools. When her fingers touched them, a burst of mist glinting with light flowed from her hands. To her, it felt safe and warm, like a soothing embrace from a hollowed past. But Gwen was not the only one drawn to this magic. Lurking in the aisles, a different mist swarmed. Black in color, it coiled and twisted, forming into fearsome wraiths. Something within Gwen's newfound presence attracted them, something they hungered for with obsession. As the wraiths came for her, Gwen was undeterred. She thrust her scissors at them. To her delight, her mist filled the air, enchanting the size and strength of her tools and turning them from mere steel into spectral magic. But the wraiths were relentless. They swelled in number, fueled by the ever-growing black mist. Gwen felt a tragic, strangely familiar pain. Surrounded by the wraiths, suppressed memories surfaced. She recalled images of her maker, sick and wounded, lying in anguish. Near her was a man whose face finally returned to Gwen, Viego. Remembering his name brought Gwen to her knees. Wistfully, she reflected on the bygone moments spent with her maker, a happier and simpler time, and stole one final glance at her scissors. It was then Gwen realized something amazing. Her maker, victim to the man's twisted vanity, was not fully gone. The seamstress's tools, the very tools that first sewed and stitched Gwen together, were now in her hands. Gwen believed this was no accident. She knew deep down that her maker was still with her, still fighting. This was a gift Gwen could not take for granted. Grasping needles and thread, she spun clouds of hallowed mist to push back the swarming wraiths. Her scissors slashed hard and fast, reminiscent of those blissful nights with her maker, imagined great battles beneath the kitchen table. Soon, the wraiths were no more. Though triumphant, Gwen recognized this was only the beginning. She could sense these wraiths and Viego were linked, both responsible for the spread of immense pain. With no time to lose, she resolved to track the black mist and stop it at any cost. Gwen expected this endeavor to be strenuous, yet she reveled in every second of being alive. For who knew how long this blessing would last? Having given a unique chance at life, Gwen chooses to be an indomitable, positive force against all odds. She journeys across Runeterra, determined to restore joy to those who are hurt and suffering. To Gwen, each moment is precious, and each step driven with purpose.